elevation. So it's about 7 minutes to the top, and our total elevation above sea level will be about 2,300 meters, which is roughly about 7,400 feet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Throughout
Throughout the time, I'll do my best to point out some features of the landscape to you. But if at any moment you have any questions, about where to go for a hike or a drive, or where to see bears, or maybe where not to see bears, just let me know.
Where to see bears?
Where to see bears?
Marlene Lake. We went to Marlene Lake.
Yeah,
We saw three last night.
Lots of bears on that road.
Yeah.
2-year-olds.
Black ones?
Black.
Yeah, there's a lot of black bears on Marlene Lake Road, like you were saying this time of year. They're eating a lot of dandelions.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
and they like the dandelions and the roots. So yeah, they're not too intimidating flower-eating bears. Right?
They just kept on eating.
They're so used to it now, They're very habituated to cars. Or did anybody get out of their cars?
Oh yeah, my dad did.
Yeah. Not the safest thing to do.
Exactly.
I saw one black bear make a stance at a lady before, and I was charged her.
And even though they look small, they're still like
Oh, yeah.
when they stand up, they're still
Wow, they're-
really
It's like a big dog
There was a
charging you.
railing
You
in
still
between
wouldn't want
us.
that,
Yeah. How about goats? I want to see.
The bighorn
Yeah.
sheep,
No.
No.
the mountain goats
Mountain
Yeah.
goats.
with the long white hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They tend to be higher in altitude.
Yeah.
That's what they prefer. I've seen them.
We saw
You saw one?
We saw one.
So what's south of here? We thought, we can't stop. There's got to be more. And since we've been in, you were so lucky to see that one. We didn't go any further. There was a nanny and a kid.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll be once I've seen them on towards Hinton,
Yeah.
like the 16 East.
Yeah.
As you're leaving the park, but most of the time they hang out higher in elevation. So sometimes once we dock up here, you'll notice right below us there's all what looks like rabbit poo, but it's actually mountain goat poo, and it's like little pebbles, and they hang out at the top here quite a bit. They come and go though.
Yeah.
So we'll maybe see them once a month. A herd of them.
Yeah.
But it's still rare,
It's
especially
rare.
this time of year. They kind of stay away from the channel.
Yeah. Of course.
So we're going to be going over the tower. It's going to sway a bit, so just hang on to something or somebody. It's pretty easy. So you're going to see a lake right at the back there with a little island in the middle. Do you see that lake? Right to the north of us, directly behind us.
Oh yeah.
So that's Pyramid Lake. And the one right before it, that's Patricia Lake. So those lakes are actually accessible by car. So if you did want to go there, you just take Pyramid Lake Road all the way to the end. And it's quite pretty. And we're going to pass by the other tram car, so if you want to take a picture, it's going to go by real quick though. Whee! No one's in it. And that mountain, it's so, I haven't been, I've had the past few days off, and so the last time I was up here it was all cloudy. It's been cloudy for about 2 weeks, so this is really nice. I haven't seen it like this for a long time. You can even see Mount Robson today, actually, which is the highest mountain in the Canadian Rockies. Once we get a little higher, I'll do my best to point it out. And that mountain right behind us, kind of to the left-hand side, just a little up from Pyramid Lake, that's Pyramid Mountain. It's the most triangular-shaped mountain directly in front of us. And it was named after the pyramids in Egypt. And what else can I tell you? There's a river flowing from the west towards us, beside the train track. That's the Miette River. So that's your typical watershed rainfall river you see all over the world. Whereas you have the Athabasca River, which runs right beside us on the right-hand side, which is kind of a chalky light color. And that'll turn to a more bluish turquoise color once all the snow melts and all the rainfall stops. That's a glacial-fed river, so that's really unique.
And very cold.
And very cold. Most of the lakes here, I'd say half are glacial fed, so they're quite cold. They won't get above 15 degrees, even on the hottest day. I would know, because I was just in one the other day. So what happened is, 10,000 years ago during our last ice age, this whole landscape was covered in one thick, heavy glacier. So when that glacier passed over rock, it grinded that rock into what's known as rock flour. So now when the glacier melts, those particles get into the water stream, reflect off the sun, and give that sort of luminous color it has. Same with the 3 bright blue lakes directly on the right-hand side of town. Do you see those? That's Lake Edith, Lake Annette, and Lake Boubert. Lake Boubert is the one that's closest to us, shaped like a Pac-Man. Those are glacial fed. Pretty much any blue lake you see, or turquoise lake you see, will be glacial fed. That's how it gets its color. here, there's not too much wildlife. Sometimes we do have mountain goats though. But what we do have are some ground squirrels, some pikas, and what's known as a hoary marmot. And a hoary marmot's a type of a big groundhog species. And it's out of hibernation now, so you might notice it around, but you also might hear this high-pitched squealing sound. And it's actually what this mountain's named after. So this is called the Whistler's Mountain, after the sound that these hoary marmots make. Yeah. And we're just sliding down because we're docking. No, you can come down. So the last flight down is at 8:30 p.m., so you have all day, quite a bit of time. It runs every 9 minutes until then, so just wait in the lobby. Whenever you're ready, come down. There's a boardwalk on each side that connects around the back, so you can do a little loop. There's a plaque pointing out a lot more mountains for you. What else? Upstairs there's a tree-lined restaurant. It's soft-serve, so feel free to grab something to eat, something to drink.
Can you see Mount Robson?
Oh yeah, so Mount Robson is on my hand side, and it's the highest, whitest peak in the far, far distance.
So quite a pointy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like it's connected to the mountain that's kind of
Right behind you.
in front of it, but that's actually, that's a mountain in front of it, so it's beyond that.
We'll have to drive over there now.
And if you do have time today, you should drive there because it's rare to see the top, especially when you're standing at the bottom. So, yeah. Usually, even on a clear day, it's still cloud covered. And if you did feel like going for a bit of a hike, there's a pathway to the summit on the east-hand side. So over here, you'll see it. It's clearly marked. It's quite a nice hike. And it's quite steep, but it's doable. Get your heart rate going. And we're going to exit on the outside. Any questions?